Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dalaran and we got more information on the Kul Tiran humans as well as the racials and class combinations and the Zandalari racials class combinations as well. We also know exactly when these guys will be coming out, so I want to dedicate this video just for this to do a little bit of a light analysis of the racials and tell you whether they're great or not. Conclusion and spoiler, I can't really come to a conclusion because we need more information, but overall it looks pretty fun, great and exciting. Super impressed with Kul Tirans here, but also with some sense with Zandalari. So when are Kul Tirans and Zandalari going to be available? We know that it's going to be in patch 8.1.5. So to give you guys a little bit of a guesstimate when that's going to be available, patch 8.1 is going to be released in December. So 8.1.5 is going to come a little bit after Christmas, at least for sure. Another question was, what classes will these guys be able to play? And Zandalari have a plethora of classes from warriors to shamans to priests to mages, but also paladins. It has been released that Zandalari will be able to play amongst a lot of classes as well as paladins. The idea of them being paladins came from back in Mists of Pandaria. During Throne of Thunder, the Zandalari were aiding the Mogu, and one of the enemies the Zandalari had in part of their army were technically called Zandalari Paladins. They weren't actually called Zandalari Paladins, but technically with their abilities and skills, they are considered paladins. So yes, Zandalari can be paladins as another addition to the Horde, as one of the races that can be paladins along with Tauren and the Blood Elves. Now for the Alliance, we are going to be able to get Kul Tiran Shamans, and I guess that one wasn't really a surprise to anybody. A lot of the Kul Tiran's priests, or these sea priests, technically control water. Rest of Shamans anybody, technically can summon storms. LA Shamans anybody, so it makes sense for those guys to become Shamans. Although I don't really think of Kul Tirans as the kind of shamans to use totems, although it will be interesting what kind of totems we are going to get. My bet is we're going to be throwing anchors all over the place. Now the biggest question past that was, what kind of racials are these guys going to get? We're going to start off with Kul Tirans first, as they really impressed me. Kul Tiran racials are Haymaker, punch an enemy, stunning and knocking them back. Brush it off, increases versatility and regenerates damage, which is a great tank as also a decent DPS one. Jack of all trades, which I 100% guaranteed, increases skill in all trade skills. Child of the Sea, hold your breath longer and swim faster, which is a great passive. Rime of the Ancient Mariner, resistance to frost, nature. So how good are these racials in PvP and PvE? That's going to be a question that will come up eventually, so here's my breakdown. I feel like Haymaker is an exceptionally cool and awesome, very utilitarian type of racial that is good for some raids, but mostly in Mythic Pluses as well as PvP. In PvP, imagine being a priest. You know, you're a Clothy and you have a pesky rogue chasing you around. Don't you just wish you could just sucker punch him in the face? Well, the Kul Tiran human, now you can. You can just punch the rogue in the face to get him off you. In Mythic Pluses, you can utilize the stun if you don't have an on-demand stun. So if you're a Resto Shaman, for example, and you need to drop a capacitor totem, now you can just kind of put your hand into a fist and punch the mob away. You can utilize the knockback effect too to get mobs away from your tank or from your healer, so there's more than one use for it. Brush it off seems like an interesting versatility tankiness increase. I wonder how the heal effect will go. Is it just going to be an instant heal for percentage damage you took in the last 6 seconds, or is it going to be a set amount of heal? Could it be a healing over time? Regardless, this one could be used for tanks and DPS, since versatility increases your damage and healing that you do. So this makes them very universal, those two active abilities. The fact that you have two of them, I feel like makes you a very universal, whether you want to be a tank, healer, or DPS. And then you have some nice flavor stuff like Jack of all trades with skill increases, Child of the Sea by swimming faster and holding your breath longer, as well as Rime of the Mariner, which is just a elemental resistance for frost and nature. So those are pretty passive, but the combo together with some awesome active abilities. I feel like overall there's enough of interesting stuff with the Kul Tiran humans where they are kind of fun to look at. I like the Child of the Sea because it seems a lot of fun, but also they have awesome active abilities where you can actually utilize them. I don't know how strong the versatility from Brush It Off will be. I don't know how much damage Haymaker will do. I don't know if the stun always has to be together with a knockback. So like if enemies DR'd, will they not get knocked back? I don't know semantics on that, but I do see an allied race with a lot of potential, and I really like what I'm seeing with 2 active abilities that can be utilized by tanks, healers, and DPS. Overall, I have to say allied races actually have a pretty decent choice in classes as well as pretty decent racials. Currently, we don't have enough information to compare Zandalari against any of the other members of the Horde, but we'll take a look at what they have currently. Regenerating reads, concentrate to heal quickly over a short time. It sounds to me like a cast, and then you get a healing over time effect. That sounds actually pretty cool. Maybe it's even a channel type of heal, so if you can find a moment to get a self heal, this could be valuable for classes that don't have great heals, so think arms warriors and maybe even rogues to some extent. If you're someone who loves to farm mobs for gold, maybe even grind them in spots where they respawn pretty quickly, then City of Gold Racial might be necessary for anybody who is a gold farmer. Pterodact Swoop calls upon a Pterodact to glide you to the ground, which seems like a passive slow fall as a racial. That is super neat, super awesome, and I can utilize it on so many different high up hills and so many different areas just to give myself a glide. I do wonder if it'll be just a slow fall in a direction, or will it be like a gliding effect similar to Goblin Glider Kit. Oh, I really hope it's a Goblin Glider Kit style of an ability. But the big racial that we don't have information on is Embrace of the Loa. Pray to Loa and gain their favor. I made a video talking about the different racial icons we were able to get specifically to Zandalari that had an icon for every one of their Loa. You know, they have Quagwa, which is the frog, Bwansamdi, which is Bwansamdi. So we have a bunch of different icons for every one of the Loa. So it sounds similar to the Magha Orc racial. You use the racial and it will give you a randomized buff. I don't think it'll be exactly just like the one that Makar have, where Makar will use the racial and they'll get randomly haste or crit or mastery or versatility. I think instead they'll get maybe a watered down version of effect of some of the shrines you'll be able to find around Dazar Alor. If you're a Horde main and you find a shrine towards one of the Loa, you get one of their effects for a short amount of time. Then you can use in combat. Some of the effects may be, if it's Bwansamdi, when you kill an enemy, it has a chance to summon their spirit. The spirit will fight for you and then will explode for shadow damage, or Kragwa will give you like an absorption shield if you're close to death. So maybe it'll be like a watered down version of those effects, but right now we don't have any of that information. All we have is guesstimates. So with this being said, I cannot really say much about Zandalari Trolls. I can't even put Zandalari Trolls against Kul Tirans and try to figure out which allied races are better, simply because we don't have enough information. I guess with time we'll be able to tell if Zandalari Trolls will have a competitive racial or if they're mostly about passes, but their one strong suit is the variety of different classes that they can play. I guess only time will tell. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Hopefully you enjoyed this BlizzCon update. I am working on so many of these different videos for BlizzCon. There's stuff for PvP, there's stuff for PvE, there's so many different updates to the game in general. So I'm just trying to get through them as fast as possible as one man can. If you guys enjoy this kind of videos, let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on the different updates? If you guys like me doing these kind of videos where I'll update you guys on everything BlizzCon related, please go and give this video a like. Likes allow my videos to reach a wider audience, and when I'm trying to make a big update video and everything happening in BlizzCon, it definitely helps when you guys leave a like so my videos can reach more people. Thank you as always. I appreciate all of you. I gotta get to more videos. Let me know what you want to see covered in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.